Hey, thanks for being with us today. This is the BNI Vancouver Chapter Podcast, and I've had the privilege of having Adam Ward in here just before you. So this is round two for our podcast today, and now we are here with Vince Girolami with Girolami Insurance, and I'm just going to let you take over from here and tell us a little bit about what you do and your business. And then we'll get into all the fun details like past stuff because you're a phenomenal guitar player, I hear.
Yeah, I don't know about the phenomenal guitar part, but I am an insurance agent. I have been for 15 years. Started in 15 years, coming up on 15. Came from an entirely different industry, and our agency is one of the larger agencies in the state of Washington. 600 agents in Washington. I think I'm probably I'm in the top 15. So
that's pretty amazing, right there.
We've worked hard. I have a fantastic office team. Just hired a new office manager. He's fantastic as well. We're doing some new things. So we're very excited about the future. And we write all types of insurance, but we also write a lot of commercial insurance. Mm-hmm. And I'm fortunate that I've been an agent a long time. So one of the benefits that I have that some other people don't have is that I write insurance for Farmers Insurance. But if it's not eligible in Farmers Insurance, then I can write it outside Farmers just like any other broker in town or anywhere else. So not only do you get the option of writing it with Farmers, which if we can put it in there, it's going to be the best rate. And if we can't put it in there, then I can compete with everybody else. So I'm fortunate that way.
What's your worst enemy in the insurance business? Is it Hiscox?
As far as competition?
Yeah.
No, Hiscox is a great company. I write through them as well.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. No. There's everybody needs insurance. I don't really have I don't have any enemies. It's just, it's how well you can run your operation.
Sure.
In your office. And
well, obviously you run it really well if you're the top 15 out of 600.
We try.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And when did you start your insurance company here in Vancouver?
I started in 2009.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I was in an office over on across town, and then I moved to another office when I purchased an agency from an agent. And then I moved to my current location where I actually purchased a building and have a couple tenants in there and built the building out kind of how I wanted it and how I wanted my office to be, because I figured I'm going to do it the rest of my life, and I like my space and I like the people around me. I'm very fortunate.
Where's your building at?
I'm off of 120th and Mill Plain.
Oh, okay.
So there's a fire station there. Costa Vida was on the corner of 120th and Mill Plain.
Les Schwab is back in there.
So Costa Vida is on the south side of 120th. I'm on the north side. Okay. So if you just went north on 120th, there's a fire station. There's me. You can't miss it. Big signs.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, on
That's
the right.
Really cool.
So, yeah, like it there.
And how long have you been in insurance?
About 15 years.
Okay.
And my brother has been a farmer's agent up in Tacoma for about 37 years now. So I knew what I was getting into. I was fortunate. And I was fortunate because he pretty much trained me.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
I was trained by your brother.
I did. And now it's funny now because he calls me every day and asks for help. So it's kind of nice to be able to return the favor.
That's cool. Is it he identical twin, older, younger?
He's not. He's older. I'm the youngest of 5. So he's about 6 years older than me.
6 years older.
Talk every day, at least twice a day, every day. And
that's good.
Helping each other out and helping each other grow and getting better.
Yeah, there's that bond. I have a sister that's 2 years older than me, and there was a long time where we didn't. We love each other, but we just never communicated that much. And it's like I think the older that we get, it's like now I enjoy talking to my sister like all the time, most of the time, I should say. She likes to talk for.
I have 3 brothers and a sister, and we are all very close. We all grew up very close. We're all still very close. I'm the youngest, so it's fun. My sister's actually coming down in her family for Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And where are you from?
I'm from Tacoma.
Oh.
And as my whole family is. I got a sister and a brother up in Seattle. I have one in Tacoma, and I have one that moved to Florida.
And
so I don't see him too often, unfortunately. But
yeah,
he'll be here for Thanksgiving, so he's coming
that's
to
awesome.
town. Yeah,
That's really cool.
excited to see him.
Yeah, we're gonna head to Seattle. We were talking earlier about that, but so I think there's like 14 of us that'll be there. But it's probably maybe one other time in the last 10 years that we've gone to my mom's, because Mickey always hosted with all of her boys and their significant others and stuff. So it'll be nice.
All of us have eaten every Thanksgiving at my mom's house until she passed, and then she passed, and we all actually went to that house and had Thanksgiving, and then we sold the house, and been a couple of years now. So my sister came down last year as well. So yeah, so
that's cool. Wait, does Farmers have a jingle?
Oh yeah, we are farmers. Bump, ba-dum, bump,
Oh,
bump,
that's
bump.
right.
Yeah,
I love that jingle.
it worked out well. They rebranded when they came out with that jingle, our logo and everything.
Farmers. Bump, 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 bump. Yep, that's right.
That's it.
Okay, so sorry about that, Vince. I had to take
right.
a little potty break, and then there was apparently there was a concert going on outside in the hallway there. So
Concerts can be good.
yeah, I have an on-air sign that I try to turn on so people know, but I forgot. They don't look up there anyway. It's like, but these mics are really good. The way I have all the presets on them, so it usually doesn't pick up any thumping or loud sounds or anything, but just
I
depends.
figured they were super sensitive and they picked up all of that.
No,
Just
no, they're
are they
more
directional?
streamlined.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're set. They're set. Okay, so Seattle. Let's talk about Seattle.
It was a great place to be in the late 80s, especially
Right.
if you were in a band.
That's right. And we both were.
Yes, we were. we were. I was going to the University of Washington up there from 85 to 89 and was in a band from about 87 to 89. Well, yeah, that's right.
Wait a sec. You were going to University of Washington, in 85.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 85 to 89. It was great. It was
Yeah.
awesome. Great time to be in Seattle, especially if you like music.
What was one of your most memorable music, like concerts, maybe clubs that you went to? Did you go to a lot of clubs?
Ooh, I don't think so.
No.
No.
Okay.
I did actually go to a festival in Kentucky this year. It was,
Oh, you did?
yeah, it was called Bourbon and Beyond.
Oh.
It was amazing, actually.
Yeah.
The lineup was incredible.
But in Seattle, you didn't go to a lot of clubs at all?
I didn't.
Just played at
You know what? I just studied a lot.
Yeah. You were a good boy.
Studied a lot. I mean, I got an engineering degree. I was studying.
Yeah. That's
And
totally.
playing guitar was really just kind of a side thing. But
Yeah.
we did a demo tape and we played a couple clubs and it was fun. But there wasn't anything stellar that I recall.
What was the genre of music? Was it like grunge rock or was it hard?
It was White Snake type.
Okay.
You know, kind of White Lion. If you ever
Yeah.
listen, White Lion I think is a great band that nobody ever listens to.
Yeah. I loved White Lion.
Yeah, they're a great band. Stuff like that.
So do you?
Heavy rock.
Yeah. You still got some guitars?
I do. I have my Marshall amp still.
Nice.
And I still have my original Kramer guitar that I had when I was in college.
That's
got
great.
a couple other guitars too, but they're just little stuff. And an acoustic. But I wish I played more, but just something I need to force myself to do.
Well, that's one thing too. Like when my rock band broke up in like 2005. And that's when I moved to Arizona, opened a coffee roasting company up down there. But when I ended up moving back to the Pacific Northwest, and really when I moved here, because I kind of played, when I first moved back, I played in a couple different like singer-songwriter groups. But when I moved here, I didn't play at all. And it's like, even now, maybe once a year doing a reunion show from the band before the band that I was with on Sony, but we'll do a reunion show in Seattle like once a year, and that's cool. It's a lot of fun. But.
So what was your best memory when you were playing?
Well, I think, I was kind of, I finished college in 90, and so leading up to that, I had played in like cover bands where I sang, did lights with my left foot. We had I recorded all or had all the keyboard parts, recorded, sent MIDI to the drummer, doing stuff like that in the cover groups, and sang and played bass. But in 90, 91, the band that I was in, we played a lot. So I was like working, whether it was a cook at a billiards club or a waiter or whatever that. And then it was like always practice and playing shows every weekend. And but I think probably back then the coolest thing was just to be part of that music culture and going to certain places and running into like Chris Cornell from Soundgarden or
very cool.
Yeah, just other musicians. And then coming full circle into the late 90s, being able to open for bands like the Screaming Trees and some other bands that we really liked. And some bands that we didn't even really like, Stabbing Westward. I don't know if you remember them. It was almost like kind of a Trent Reznor, Nine Inch Nails sort of with more of like drum beat grooves, a little bit more, I don't know if you would call it radio friendly, but so that was kind of cool. But back then, just seeing Nirvana in a small, like that, the off ramp, or Pearl Jam when they were first starting.
That'd be super cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to be kind of part of that. And then we shared a rehearsal space with Candlebox.
Oh.
And
nice.
So those guys, there was that envious thing, like, well, they got signed. How come we can't get signed? It's like, well, they were good. Plus, Madonna owned the record label that they were signed to, which was Maverick Records, I think. And she really dug them, and they did really well.
The guy I bought my Marshall amp from, I bought the head from him. So I see an ad in, I don't know, Seattle paper somewhere, and I go, and he's down in the industrial district, up above,
like
above a parking lot.
Yeah.
Where the thing pulls down, and then they walk up the stairs, upstairs, and they're in a loft in a parking lot. It was cool. And I said, well, why are you selling it? Why are you selling it? And he says, well, we just got signed by Geffen. And the name of the band was Sanctuary.
Oh, wow.
And they opened for Megadeth for, I think, almost a whole tour. They did an album, but they never did another album. But it was kind of cool.
Yeah, I remember that band.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, there's so many. As we get older, we forget a lot, right? But it's like there's so many cool bands that I can't even remember their names, but that we either did shows with or just went to see play, and it kind of made it big. I don't know if you remember Sean Smith. See, I can't remember his band's name, but they were a three-piece, and they were phenomenal. They're really, really awesome. But Sean Smith passed away, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago now, something like that. But he had a couple songs that made it onto some soundtracks, but he was part of that whole group. There's all these guys that are still really good friends that even two of the guys that I played with, it's like they'll play in 7 different bands. And, like with Mike McCready for the Rockfords, but, the Rockfords aren't really well known, but they were signed and they had, several albums. So little side project things that the guys that I played with are still involved with.
That's cool.
I can't believe that they still play that much. It blows me away. And hold down day jobs.
I like to play. I kind of said I can't force myself to play. It wouldn't be forcing myself. I would like to play.
Yeah.
But, you got to prioritize your time.
Yeah. And that's what's hard about this now. It's like, I really want to play with this band. They're really cool, really nice guys. It's just that time thing. But they're okay with that. They're like, just let us know when. And, so that's cool.
Good.
Yeah.
They're flexible. But it's not like it's a career for you.
Right.
So, they're not expecting you to dedicate your life to it.
Right. That's true.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Gives you some flexibility, and you still get to play.
Yeah. So what did you do before insurance?
Before I was an insurance agent, I managed a carnival.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot that we had talked about that.
Yeah. So I got my degree in computer science engineering from the University of Washington. Then I went to law school at the University of Puget Sound, and then I actually managed a carnival for 18 years.
Which can we?
Yeah. This was fantastic shows. They're based right over here in Portland.
Oh, wow.
One of the largest carnivals in the country. A great show.
And they're touring, so they
super well run.
Go across the whole U.S.
They actually just operate in Washington and Oregon.
Oh, wow.
And that's all we ever did as well.
Yeah.
I ran the Oregon division, which was it was good. It was a great experience. I enjoyed it. I learned a ton. I learned a ton about business and about people and managing people and trying to helping them to be the best they can be. I mean,
Yeah.
I have this, it's kind of an arrogant thing, but I don't mind sharing it.
Let's
I
share.
think that I can many times help people be more successful than they can make themselves. And I enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun because they're surprised at what they're able to do. That's
cool.
kind of a cool thing.
Bringing out the best in people.
Yeah.
And yeah.
For sure. I think so.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody won't say that about me, but at least I do.
No, that's a good attitude to have. Well, it's like even me, like I tried to figure out, well, did I help people with music when when that was my career? And it's like, I truly feel like yes. And if I didn't make it as a performer, I was going to be a teacher. That was kind of my other love because I come from a family of teachers. And so I was going to teach music. And, I thought, well, where do I cut that? Like age 30, that was my cutoff. So I'd go back, get my teaching degree, and teach music if I wasn't like signed by the time I was 30.
Yeah, I actually, Farmers Insurance has this program called the Protege Program, where if you want to become an agent, you go to work for a different agent. You go to work for a farmer's agent who's authorized to have you work there because it's a program they got to qualify for. And then I train an agent for a year, basically, and then they go beyond, become their own agent. And actually, I've put more people through that Protege program than any agent in Washington or Oregon.
Wow.
So I like to do that. I have 2 of them in my office now. I'm looking to hire 3 more. I mean, I'd like to have 5. I'd like to maybe get 5's a lot. Most people only have 1.
Wow.
But I have 2 simultaneously right now, and they're both fantastic. They're both going to be great.
That you put through the Protege program? I've
put more people. So I put like 6 through, which is a lot. I mean, it's a lot because it takes a year. I'm certain that no other agent in Washington or Oregon has put through 6.
Yeah.
And I enjoy doing it. And my district manager and I work together on it, and he's awesome, and I'm fortunate that I have him, and it helps him that I put him through, and so it's good for all of us.
Yeah.
But it's kind of back to and I've had a couple, like the office manager I had mentioned to you. I put him through. He was a protege in my agency, and he was fantastic, but he just didn't really like being his own agent. And I said, well, and he was a very good agent. I'm like, if you don't want to do it, I get it. If you want to come back to work, I would love to have you be part of my team. And he was very happy to come back. So I'm fortunate that I have him back.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So it's kind of a cool thing. I mean, it goes kind of along the lines of I like to help people and train. And
yeah. I think that's really that's the best motivator. And I think any career is to be able to know that you can help people somehow. And it's like,
if I could just tweak that for one of my children, I'd be in great shape. He's not a bad kid. I just haven't been able to quite get him where all the other ones are. But that's okay too.
How many kids do you have?
We have 4.
4 kids.
Yeah, my wife Sherry and I have 4. Yeah.
And youngest?
The youngest is 18. He's a senior in high school.
I have a 17-year-old. Yeah.
So all the other ones are all doing their thing and doing well, and so.
Did they all move away, or do they still fly home to the nest?
So they all move away. They moved away. I have one. She's in her 3rd year of medical school at the University of Washington, and I have 2 that are in Texas that live together. One is a ICU nurse, and then my son is in a flight program to get his commercial license.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. So they're all doing their thing.
That's awesome. So, and especially 2 that live together.
That worked out really well.
right?
Actually,
that they get along that great.
Fortunately, they all get along very well.
Well, you're a wonderful person. Of course,
Well,
of course,
again,
you raised them well.
That's a matter of opinion.
You put them through the protege program.
Yeah, well, the Girolami family protege program.
Yeah. What is your family history?
So my father was conceived in Italy and born here.
Okay.
And my grandmother and my grandfather are from a little town north of Rome called Acquaviva. And we still have actual close relatives that live in Rome, and everybody in my family except my wife and I have been over to see them. So that's on our 2-year agenda.
Yeah.
To get
2 years from now. So by 2020.
in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have to time it so that because they take time off from work, so we have to time it what works for them, and then also we don't want to be there in the winter because it rains like it does here.
Yeah, that's
so
I would
spring
love.
or fall, and then of course you want to try to time it so if you're going to go see some stuff, it's not a million people there.
Yeah, I would love to go to Italy.
Yeah, one of my brothers went and stayed for like 9 months.
Wow.
Yeah, and just backpacked all around Italy. Loved it. But anyway,
but you've been to Italy before, right?
I have not been to Italy.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
No, I have been to Europe wrestling. Actually, I wrestled my whole life, so that was.
I forgot about that too. I'm so glad that we're doing this. Now we're embedding it in the moment here.
I wrestled my whole life. I wrestled on a U.S. team in Germany and wrestled in the Junior Olympics. So it was a great experience, and decided not to wrestle in college. The University of Washington didn't have wrestling actually, or I probably would have wrestled there, but they didn't have a wrestling program. So decided I'm going to probably not be a wrestler my whole life and go try to get a degree that I could use. Then I didn't use it anyway. So, there's that.
You want to hear a funny story?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when I was in junior high, I wrestled. I was on the wrestling team, but I only weighed 69 pounds.
What? So did I.
Oh, you did?
Actually.
Really?
The lowest weight was 78.
Yeah.
I weighed about 65, 69. So for us, middle school was 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Okay. Yeah, we were 6, 7. Well, we had 6 and 7 was middle school, and then 8 and 9 was junior high, and then 10, 11, 12 was high school. And they had just switched everything to where they were creating a new junior high, and they were making it 7th, 8th, and 9th. Yeah, it's still kind of funky. But there was nobody to wrestle in my weight category.
Yeah.
So basically, the other teams just always forfeited, right? I think that's how it worked. They had to forfeit.
They don't have anybody.
So I won. I won every match by not even getting on the mat.
Hey, it all counts as a win. It doesn't matter. The record's all the same.
Team,
it counts as a win.
For the team.
You get 6 points. You get 16 points for that.
Oh, okay.
So you were helping the team every single time.
Yeah, I think that's why they kept me on.
I was very small as well. By the time I was even in middle school, I had won a couple of national championships, and I started when I was 4, and all my brothers wrestled too. So,
and you could probably do like, I don't know. I only remember a couple moves like fireman's carry and all the different moves. So it's like I picture you, because I know that I was such a lightweight, but it's like I picture you like the flying Girolami. It's like whoosh, 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 flying
like the Melendez brothers.
Oh yeah,
but not.
Right.
Yeah. So I was small like that too. Our lowest weight was 78, I think, and then our lowest weight in high school in 10th grade was 101, and I weighed 90.
Yeah.
And I wrestled 101 when I was a sophomore, a junior, and my senior year I wrestled 108. I mean, I was not a big person.
Yeah. Well, I just like I'm tall now. Well, I'm shrinking now, but 6'2", almost 6'3" at one point, maybe 6'2.5", whatever.
Okay, that's tall in my book.
Yeah.
Like my family's all 5'6".
But even in like 9th grade, I pole vaulted, and the smallest pole they had was like 120 pounds for being able to get bend on it, and I was like 101 or so. I don't even remember, but it's like I just called it stick vaulting because I didn't weigh very much, so I could be able to get upright, but I never really got very much bend with the pole.
Not enough weight.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But look, we look great now.
It turned out all right for me. I'm not complaining.
I know. It's like we don't have that issue now. We got hair,
Yeah.
we're thin,
We try to eat well.
right? Yeah, we're all good.
Try not to eat too much sugar.
So I know that you do all types of insurance, and with our BNI group, you're the commercial agent for the group. But what's a great referral for you?
A great referral for me, and it really, and I know it's really a vague thing, but the best referrals for me are landscapers, plumbers, electricians, and that's because they have a business and then they also have vehicles, and we can put it all together, and we have very competitive rates. So I mean, really, those are the best referrals, but literally, of course, in BNI, you're not supposed to say be generic about it, but literally, I can insure any business.
Yeah,
and we're good at lots of them. We're good at lots of them. So, it's tough to be specific because we do all of it. But the easiest, well, we're most competitive. I should say where we're most competitive, not the easiest. Where we're most competitive is those type of businesses where it's HVAC.
Yeah, a lot of people don't
landscape.
think about all that. Like there's, especially if they're a man in a van, a chuck in a truck, whatever.
Landscapers are notorious for getting
Sure.
the cheapest landscaper policy they can get and then leaving all their vehicles on a personal lines auto policy.
Not good.
Here's where the problem comes in, and I explain it to them. I go, I mean, my job is to make you aware of what your exposure is and to give you options on how to protect yourself. I'll do whatever you want to do, but I'm just telling you, these are the things that happen. You're a landscaper, well, let's say you're an electrician. You come to my house, you pull in the driveway. When you back out, you drive over somebody, and now that person's hurt. And when your insurance company says, well, what were you doing there? Well, I'm an electrician. I was doing a job there. Okay, well, that's not a commercial auto policy. That's a personal lines auto policy. You're giving the carrier the opportunity to not pay. And you don't ever want to give an insurance company an opportunity to not pay.
Right.
Because they absolutely will not pay. Now, not to say that insurance companies aren't fair and don't pay. They pay according to the contract, and it's a legal binding contract. And that's what it is. It's a legal document. And people just don't think of it like that. When you explain it to them, they get it. And more often than not, a commercial auto policy for your landscaping truck is no more expensive than it would be on your personal lines policy anyway.
Yeah, that's probably what most people perceive it being more expensive.
They just assume that it's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
You just try to explain to them, look, this is the position you're potentially putting yourself in.
When I started, I was with Hiscox, and it was like $32 a month, and it was just basically, I don't even know what you call it, but it was just like a $1 million
general liability only.
General liability only. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
And I flew a drone inside Lloyd Center. I haven't been there for a long time, but they had the ice skating rink inside Lloyd Center. And so I was doing a video for an ice skater, and I was filming above her doing this really cool spin. And then we were on like sliding across the ice, getting really cool shots on the ice of her too. But I had to show management at Lloyd Center my policy, and that was when I first got insurance. I was like, oh crap, I have to have insurance for that, and I just totally wasn't even realizing. So I got insurance really fast, got him the policy, showed it to him, and then I crashed my drone inside Lloyd Center.
Drones are really tricky now.
Yeah.
Insurance companies are excluding them from coverage for the most part.
I'll bet.
Yeah, drones get tricky.
Why do they get tricky?
Because you can fly them into people.
Yeah.
Insurance companies don't want to insure anybody that actually has risk. They just don't.
Yeah.
Right? Because they don't ever want to pay.
Yep.
So.
Well, and most people, like for me, my insurance, it was like, oh, well, what if somebody trips over your tripod? That was kind of the big thing.
That's
like,
that's your general liability coverage, yeah.
But
Somebody comes in here, trips and falls down, hits their head, and you have general liability.
Yeah.
And that's all it's really good for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do have insurance coverage on my equipment and stuff and everything now,
That's good.
But it was
production gets a little tricky too.
Yeah.
Because if somebody pays you to put a production together and you're in possession of the files and they get corrupt or something happens and then they sue you, That's a problem.
Oh.
So production gets tricky.
Huh. There's probably a lot that I could learn from you about
It gets tricky.
how I do things with, because I don't deliver something physical to people. All my videos are done digitally, so they can be able
If
to.
you generated, so let's say that band,
Mm-hmm.
something happens to those files and they're all corrupt because of something that happened here. And now they want you to pay for them to get reset up and for them to do all that, to reshoot the video. Or you can't recreate the environment because it was something special.
Right.
So what's the loss and how does that get paid?
Sure.
So production gets really tricky, especially
Okay.
movie production.
Yeah, I should probably have you look at my contracts.
I'd happy to look at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can
essentially,
give you some information, whether you're doing business with me or not. That's fine.
yeah, we get into like raw footage and who owns raw footage and who owns just the video that's created and produced and delivered. It's like that's where it gets funky for me. I even go into like storage fee if, because I don't throw anything away. So I've got over 200 terabytes of data from my clients. And then they'll come back sometimes after a couple years and say, hey, remember that time when we shot this? And I'm like, I do. I have that. But I've never charged people storage fees. But I started putting that in my contract.
Yeah.
But that data is valuable.
Or a re-access fee.
Yeah, I like that. Re-access fee. Note to self.
Yeah, I mean, actually.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, we can give it back to you, but it's going to cost you. I mean,
Yeah.
Or storage fee, whatever, same price. Same
Right.
thing.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I spend so much. That's the worst thing that I spend money on, Vince, is
Oh, you're just
storage
you're generating
devices.
massive amounts of data.
and debt.
Yeah, that's all part of it.
But yeah, it's like the hard drives. And, now I'm getting into like a network access storage, so a NAS system that I can be able to access, getting into, file access for, let's say I hire an editor and it's not somebody overseas, it's somebody local, but they have to access those files. So that's the next thing. But it's like $4,000 to $6,000 for a decent NAS system that people can access, just through Wi-Fi instead of an actual storage.
Well, you're pushing a lot of data.
Yeah, I know. That's not the fun part of what I do.
That's part of owning a business.
Right. Damn. I wish it was all fun.
Yeah.
Like playing guitar.
If I just sold insurance, it'd be great
Right.
because I'm very good at that.
But you got to.
But I have to actually run the business,
Yeah.
which I enjoy doing.
Now, are you looking at how long do you want to do this for? Are you going to go buy a villa at a vineyard in Rome or
No.
in Italy?
No.
Yeah.
My wife would like to own some property though. I don't know. I mean, I like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And
You got plenty of years left, right?
it's a good gig. It's a really good gig if you have it set up properly. I mean, insurance is extremely difficult right now.
Yeah.
It's very expensive for everybody. Our company, we got a new CEO about 3 years ago, and he's done a fantastic job of reducing the expenses that the company has. And then, of course, we've taken commission cuts and several, and we're taking another one January 1st, which is fine. I mean, they're just changing what they have to do to make money. And the person who changes fastest is the one that's most successful, right? So we have to do new things to earn our commission back, which is fine. And we're already doing that because I'm an agency that's pretty good size and I have staff. If you don't have staff, you don't have people selling for you, that's going to be a problem. But I'm fortunate that I do. So earning that stuff back isn't really a problem for us. But I mean, it's tough. You just got to keep working. So if you set it up properly, I mean, I could certainly cut back for sure. And quite honestly, I got a great team, so pretty much do whatever I want anyway. I mean, I like to work. I'm there before everybody else. I'm the last one to leave, but I like that. I don't mind. But my wife and I go on vacation quite a bit, and in the summer we have a boat, and I'm out on the water right on the Columbia here 4 days a week.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the boat's moored 10 minutes from my office and 10 minutes from the house, and 5:20, I'll say, hey, do you want to go out on the boat? I'll meet me down there at 5:45, and we'll go out.
That's really cool.
In the summer, it's light till 9:30.
Yeah.
And warm.
And you're only like, I don't know, a mile and a half from your office, right? Yeah. That's great.
She'll grab the dogs. We'll go down and meet and go over to an island out there in the middle of the river and turn the dogs loose for an hour or two and just hang out. And,
that's cool.
Yeah. So I'm fortunate that I have tons of flexibility.
Yeah.
And that's because I have a good team around me.
Well, and you've worked hard, to get to the top 15 out of 600. Again, I'm going to bring that up because this guy's the man.
We definitely work hard, for sure. And everybody in my office is on the same page.
Yeah.
So it's good.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And have you been in BNI for a long time, or is this
about a year and a half.
So this is the first. Our chapter is the first BNI that you've been
in. It is.
Wow.
And the reason I joined is because part of earning that commission back was we have to sell X number of commercial policies a year to earn back a certain percentage of our commission. And I don't have any problem meeting that goal, but I am smart enough to know that that number is going to increase.
Yeah.
Every year, because that's just the nature of how it has to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I joined BNI about 2 years earlier than I figured it was going to start ratcheting up, and I think I'm going to be right because they didn't change our numbers this year. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I was always scared to join BNI because I had heard well, you saw that video that I was making a kind of a mock documentary on being a cult. Because it had all these weird things that people don't understand, right? Because I've gone to tons of networking events. Like when I was driving a school bus, Mickey, I would go have lunch with her at a networking group because they met for lunch every week. And so I would just go to hang out with my girlfriend back then. And Mickey, my girlfriend, before she was my wife, and have lunch with her, just spend time with her during my break too. And so I kind of knew how networking worked. And when I started doing what I do now, I started going to a lot of different free networking events and some that were like maybe $40 a month or something. But I was afraid to join BNI, but then I subbed for a lot of different people. George Castillo, he's the master of getting people to sub for him and bringing him as
George
guests.
is an interesting character.
Yeah.
I mean
love that, man.
I love him to death. He actually is the one that got me to join as well.
Yeah.
But I absolutely felt it was completely cult-esque. I'm telling George, I'm like, dude, this is
weird.
It's a little weird.
What is a CEU?
Everybody's standing up reading this thing together. This is weird.
Yeah.
But I went to enough of them that I finally got it. So.
Yeah. And it's great. I mean, just to have that group of 30 plus individuals that, you get to know. Well, you get to know, like, and trust.
It's
and
way
it
more. It's way more than referrals.
Yeah, way more.
It's way more than referrals.
Yeah.
It's really not even about referrals anymore.
Right.
Because they're just your friends and they're people you like to be around.
Yep. But being able to refer people that you have known for years. So this is my second year. Yeah, this is my second year. I think my third will start in June. And it's been the best, I think, decision that I made as far as networking for my business.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I do. I absolutely do not like getting up in the morning to go to the meetings.
That's true. That's true.
However, I love the people there and I love what it is.
Yeah. So our next meeting is December 5th. You going to wear ugly sweater?
Is it Ugly Sweater Day?
I think so.
Well, it'll be the only day during December where we're all together, so it must be.
Yep. You got to do it, man. Mickey just came home with
I can find out something. I'm sure I got something ugly.
Yeah. Mickey came home with 2 sweaters, and I'm like, well, mine, it almost looks like I would almost wear that anyway. It's got like a llama on it. And I'm like, what? That's a little funky, weird, but hers, wow. It's like top ugly sweater
She
with
max
bells.
Out the ugliness.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm like, how do we wash these, honey?
I think maybe just throw them away when you're done.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. Or gift it.
Gift it.
Gift it for the BNI gift exchange next year.
There you go.
Or for this year too. We just wear the ugly sweater. Then we do the white elephant gift exchange.
That would be funny.
And gift the ugly sweater. Yeah, that'd be great.
Gift a used ugly sweater.
Yeah. What a great gift.
You'd be the hit of the party, I'm sure.
Or get kicked out.
One of the two. One of the two.
Vince, thank you so much for doing the one-to-one here in this podcast studio. Was it weird? Was it odd?
Not weird at all. Thank you for having me.
You didn't feel uncomfortable, did you?
I'm not uncomfortable at all.
Good. That's how I like it.
I actually used to do all of the radio and TV for when I managed the carnival.
Look at it. Just doesn't stop what this man did.
Not that it matters, but
yeah. Well, that's cool. That's awesome. Fun. And we didn't get really into that, but our next one-to-one, I think I want to talk just about the carnival.
I could tell you stories.
I want to hear stories about carnival
for years.
I think they want to hear stories about the carnivals.
I guarantee you I have some great stories you would love to hear. I do tell stories maybe one a week to my office staff, and they absolutely love hearing them.
That's great.
Oh, I got great stories.
Weird clown stories at all or anything?
No clowns.
Okay.
No clowns. Usually the stories are almost always about the customers.
Yeah.
Because people are very interesting.
People are interesting. And you can watch people for hours at carnivals.
I love watching people. My wife and I do. It's actually a hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are reality is better than anything else.
Yeah.
And there's lots of great stories about people.
Okay. Well, that's the next one-to-one with Vince Girolami. And thank you so much. This has been the BNI Vancouver Chapter Podcast, and we're going to catch you next time and have stories about Vince at the carnivals.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Thanks, Vince.